Hello, welcome to the Chessboxing podcast. This week we've got an interview with Tadas Ceponis. This interview was recorded in the summer of 2024 ahead of our summer festival event ChoxCon. Tadas was due to fight Sergey Shevchikov, but unfortunately Sergey was injured in the lead up to the summer festival. Of course, Tadas will now be fighting on the 1st of May. His opponent will be Hamzah Buhari, and we hope to get Hamzah on the podcast shortly. Enjoy. Hello, Tadas.
Good evening, Gavin.
How are you doing this evening?
Doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm not too bad this evening. Where are you calling from, Tadas?
Lithuania.
Vilnius, is it?
What's that?
Is it Vilnius?
It is Vilnius. Yeah, originally I'm from Kaunas city, but currently I live in Vilnius, in capital. Yeah.
Nice. I went to Vilnius about...
Unfortunately, it's pissing down rain today, but we have a beautiful summer so far. Most of the days are sunny, so yeah, just today it's a little bit off.
Well, it's raining here too. I went to Vilnius about 15 years ago, and what I remember of the city is there's kind of like a sort of a hill where you can go up onto the hill and you can look down across the whole the city. It's a beautiful place. Must be a nice place in the summer.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Winters are a little bit tough, but I guess UK is similar, right?
Yeah.
Dark, rainy, and you just gotta grind.
Yeah. We're still waiting for the summer to get here, to be honest. It's been raining all day and windy and miserable. And what is it? 10th of June, yeah.
Right.
So what do you do in Vilnius, Tadas?
Well, I work here. I'm a full-time coach. I do chess and gymnastics, actually.
Okay. So you're coaching gymnastics as well as chess, are you?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So no wonder you're such a fit guy. I mean, that must take a hell of a lot of core body strength and discipline.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I think you're being a bit modest there. And how is training going? I mean, notwithstanding what we talked about at the top of the podcast, I just felt like we had to sort of get that out there. But I imagine you are the kind of person that trains quite regularly and keeps yourself fit in any event. Yeah.
Totally. I take things seriously. I was training twice a day, mostly boxing and kickboxing. But since the fight got canceled, just go once a day now. But usually my discipline is pretty intense. So yeah, I practice twice a day.
Okay. Well, I hope some of our chess boxing community in London are listening to this podcast because they should take a leaf out of your book.
Give me something. Give me someone.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'll talk to you after the podcast. I don't want to preempt anything, but I think we might be able to get you something. But we'll talk about that in a bit.
Good. I'm excited.
What about your chess? What about your chess level? What experience have you got at chess? What's your elo, and how have you been training on the chess?
Right, chess is solid. I play online mostly. My original official rating is 2100 FIDE. That's the highest one that I got was 2118, I believe so. But then I stopped playing professionally, so I went into coaching. But I still practice. I mean, I play online. I have some buddies. We meet up, go some games, rapid games. So yeah, chess is still on. It's in my routine. So
can you talk a little bit about your professional career? How did that manifest itself?
Right. So I started as a kid when I was 6. My parents actually forced me. You gotta go play chess, and I remember I was like resisting. This is not my thing, because I was always like active kid, right? Like running, doing all kinds of things. But they forced me, and actually I'm grateful right now because this is where I ended up. Actually, I'm making my living from teaching chess, meeting people, communicating. That's how I got there. So I started when I was 6. I've been playing till I was 23, I would say. So I stopped like 5 years ago, and now it's just like amateur playing. But we were going to all over the Europe. We were visiting countries, like playing tournaments. Like I was pretty active. I was never like super good. Like I couldn't reach like grandmaster level or international master. But I mean, my highest is 2100. That's the max that I could get. is it possible to reach like FIDE, like 2300? I think definitely it is. Like for me personally, but you gotta grind that. Like you have to go full time practice, like like those professional players, like 5 hours a day, maybe even more, and then with years probably you can reach that. But this is not one of my passions, let's say, just to do that.
Yeah, I mean, not that my chess level
Need some action. Need some action,
Yeah, I mean, not that I could ever, my chess level will never be anything like that, however hard I work. But I imagine it's like any elite sport. It's not just about the natural ability; it's commitment, isn't it? It's commitment of time.
Totally.
And, sacrificing things in your life that you might otherwise not be sacrificing if you weren't committed to a sport like chess or anything else, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But also with chess, it's important to start at an early age. Say like you can still like save the day if you start when you're a teenager, but if you start when you're an adult, it's gonna be tough. You have to be almost like a genius to, like master the game. But if you start over when you're like 16, 17, something like that, then it's gonna be tough. You gotta start early if you wanna like, reach up.
Are you saying it's too late for me, Tadas?
Take some classes with me, Gavin. I'll teach you everything.
Okay, I like that. A bit of an upsell. I like that.
I'll show you the whole spectrum. I'm a philosopher, right? So I'm gonna play your mind, and we're definitely increasing some points. Are you going to become a professional? We'll see. That's my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Now you sort of spoke a little bit about how chess wasn't your natural thing to do as a child. Like you're obviously quite active, and you're still very active, and you're a sportsman,
right?
Obviously,
right.
So when you heard about chess boxing, that must have been an answer to your prayers, right?
Right. That was weird though. Like at the beginning, I was like, "What is that?" But then I started investigating. It's interesting, definitely. It's like two different disciplines, and you have to coordinate both of them at the same time. They're completely opposite, and yeah, I mean, totally. I'm really into it.
So when did you hear about the sport itself? When did you were made aware of it?
The first time I heard about it, like 4 years ago, I think so. That was like 2020.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I heard that like
just before lockdown, really.
A while. No, I heard it like a while ago, but I mean, it started getting like slightly bigger. Let's say like you could start like seeing YouTube videos like in 2020. That's when I like discovered that.
Yeah. And we obviously we had a massive boost to the profile, didn't we? A couple of years ago with the event in LA, with Ludwig's event, where they got 4 million or something views.
Right.
So obviously you were aware of the sport before then, but we've had a massive influx, particularly of Americans becoming aware of the sport, getting into contact. And even our YouTube profile probably was boosted by about 500% just from that show.
Bloody Americans, they just love action. Yeah, all those things.
Well, yeah, you think you imagine something as big and as bold as possible, and then you go to America and they're doing it twice as big and twice as bold.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Also in America now, like those YouTube fighters are going big.
Yeah, well, I think it's not just chess boxing, is it? It's a lot of combat sports that are now kind of like bleeding into.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Influencer territory where you're getting big influencer names that don't necessarily have, all the best skills or boxing skills or whatever it is.
Right.
But they've got the profile and they know how to put on a show. And at the end of the day, people want to be entertained. I mean, that's what sport is all about. And there's more than one way to entertain a crowd. And I certainly think the Ludwig show did that. So can you talk a little bit about your ring name? What is your ring name?
Scorpio.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, I think the name speaks itself.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
I'm gonna
dangerous. You're dangerous?
Definitely dangerous. I mean, everyone is dangerous. I think every athlete is dangerous because you're stepping in the ring, right? So we have like the same goal, to kill or to be killed, right? We want to destroy our opponent, obviously, but it's just who I am. I think I'm trying to wait for the right moment and then I sting. Same thing with chess. Like I like to like start things slowly, investigate, and then I explode. And bite your neck.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess
Right.
scorpions are known for fast reflexes, aren't they? And yeah.
Right. I have some speed. I have some
Mm.
speed. I should improve on some endurance, I would say. But yeah, definitely speed is one of my strongest attributes.
So I've
Speed
seen,
and power.
yeah, so I've seen some videos of you competing. So you've had a
Right.
couple of amateur level fights, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and how did they go? How did they
So
pan out?
right. So I had two official fights. I mean, I had a lot of, well, not a lot, like up to 20 fights, let's say, that were not official without
Mm.
a ref, more like a sparring thing, we can call that. But I had two official fights, so I have one loss and one win,
Hmm.
and that is my record currently, just for boxing.
Okay, and so the victory, was that on points?
Correct. The victory
Yeah,
was on point, yeah.
and the loss was points as well, was it?
Also points, but I got knocked out,
Hmm.
and that was a great experience.
Yeah,
But that was back in the day. That was back in the day. That's when I was a teenager, I think like 17 years old. But that was a great experience. I was like, okay, this is a dangerous sport. Let's go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm unfortunate enough to I've never been knocked out, but I've lost by technical knockout, and
Right.
it gives you a different perspective. It makes you consider things a bit more
Makes
carefully.
you humble. Makes
Yeah,
you humble. Everyone wants to be a superstar, and everyone is a superstar, right? We all like to show off in the ring and stuff.
mm.
But then, like Mike Tyson said, like everyone has a plan until it gets
Yeah,
punched in the mouth. So then it makes you humble, and then like, okay, like I know where I'm at, and everyone is dangerous in the company. I mean, anyone you're fighting, like you never know, right? Like this is
mm.
the whole point of the sport, to destroy your opponent. So it's super dangerous. You gotta take it seriously. Like being cocky, I think is good for like for promotion. You know, like I don't know UFC or like those boxers, even like Usyk fighting who did they fight? Uh,
Fury.
Tyson, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So those guys are, talking and doing all the magic, but I think deep inside they are aware that this is super dangerous. So
yeah,
you gotta respect yourself, your opponent, and yeah, this is pretty dangerous. That's what happened to my ex opponent, right?
mm.
Sergey, like he also got knocked out. So
Yeah.
gotta take
Um,
things seriously.
yeah. I mean, I think it's something that you need to come to terms with, which boxing is a dangerous sport, and it's part of the reason why it's so compelling.
Right.
And yeah, obviously it's my job to make sure we match people appropriately, but equally
Exactly.
you've got to look after yourself, and you've got to make sure you've got the right team behind you, you've got the right corner man, somebody you trust, um, and make sure you've got the right medical backup.
Right.
And we work very hard to make the environment as safe as possible, because it's a dangerous sport.
It is.
Uh,
And it's easy to misunderstand like this keyword like chess boxing, right? It has a name chess. So
mm,
I mean if you're not aware, like what are these guys doing? But actually the second word, right? The second part is boxing. Boxing is boxing and you can't change that. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think it's interesting how chess boxing is viewed by the two communities. So the chess community sees chess boxing as kind of sexy and making
right,
less exciting, and the boxing
right.
community, I think, is slightly more reticent about the idea of chess boxing because
Mhm.
it brings a kind of potentially an angle to boxing that may make you look a bit silly, ridicule it
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
So
I,
I think
I,
there's
I see.
yeah, I think there's a bit more reticence there, but it's interesting you're talking about that. So we're running our show in a rural part of the UK, so it's not we normally run them in London, but the local community are sort of
Mhm.
some of them are being exposed to chess boxing for the first time, and I'm getting people emailing me saying, "Oh, been doing a bit of boxing training. Can I come along and take part?"
Right.
Without any sort of experience or formal training. And I think, yeah, it's important to get that across that actually it's not safe just to tip up and put a gum shield in and just give it a go. That's what
Exactly.
we're doing.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think an important point to mention that this whole chess boxing thing is new itself. So there is no like super high level athletes so far, right? It's a new thing. Like boxing was invented like years ago, right? That's why it's easy to, like you said, like from the other angle, to if you're a real boxer to talk trash about chess boxing. Well, fair enough. But if you give us some time, right, you never know where this chess boxing can actually go. Like when people are gonna keep practicing, setting up camps, like the sport is going to grow itself. And then you never know, maybe chess boxer can be as good as a boxer. Sounds a little bit unrealistic, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, even I've only been involved in the sport for sort of 10 years or so. And even in that time, the standard, I mean, yourself is a good example of that. The standard of people who are interested is way, way better than it was. And hopefully that will continue. And as it gets exposed to more people that are aware of the sport, the better the candidates are going to be, because you're picking from a bigger pool. Totally. So I just wanted to talk to you about one of your, well, he's not actually from Lithuania, but somebody who's based in Lithuania, Dima Agasarian. Have you had any dealings with him or met him at all?
I'm very aware of this guy. Very aware of this guy.
Did you listen to the podcast we had?
Yeah, I did. I did. He was flexing his biceps and talking stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't appreciate that it goes out on video as well. Even when I told him. Yeah.
He didn't lose track though. He was still funny and giving good points.
Yeah. Have you actually met yet or not?
Well, not yet. It's been a while. I think last time I saw him, that was like back in, I can't even remember, like 2019. We met in Boston. That was super random, like in the United States. Yeah, it's been a while, but we keep in touch. I mean, I have his Facebook, so we talk time to time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing him fight again. And Demon and I have probably known each other about 10 years. But there's certain fighters that you just know if they're on the card, that's going to be A, a good fight, and B, it's going to be exciting. Like he's a very entertaining fighter.
Yeah, you bring some magic for sure.
Well, I think he's hopefully going to literally bring magic, so that'll be even better.
Right. Yeah. It might happen.
So have you been to the UK much before, or is this your first time heading over to the UK?
I've been into UK like twice in my life, but not much. I never like lived or visited much. Like I've been in London couple times. Yeah, that's all my.
Okay, I mean, I have to say your English is exceptional.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you doing it in English as well.
Well, I lived in Canada for 4 years, so there we go. I still keep in touch. I have a lot of buddies down there, so yeah.
Okay, nice. My brother lived in where did he live? In Banff for a couple of years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Canada were you?
Vancouver.
Oh, lovely. I think we might have had this chat actually when we spoke on the phone, but yeah, I love Vancouver. I went there and we went up skiing to Whistler for like a weekend and stuff. It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, so you've been in places too, yeah?
Sorry?
You've been in places as well.
I've been to Vancouver. What's places? Is that like a bar, is it?
I mean just the whole Canada, the whole west side.
Oh no, I haven't. I don't think I've been. I've been to Calgary and I've been to Banff. Yeah,
well, that's places. That's places.
So I've been a few, but I mean, not, I do like Canadians, though. I have to say they are very, very friendly people and generally quite fun. So we've got a lot of time for them.
Right. Well, Gavin, you're still young, so you have time to travel.
Thank you, that's
one day we'll meet up in Vancouver and set up a boxing match, and we'll be
sure. Why not? So I had a little look. I've just been looking at your. Obviously, we're organising graphics and all that kind of stuff. But I noticed that your intro music was "The Last Dance," which is I think is from a Michael Jordan film. Are you a fan of Michael Jordan and the Bulls?
Not really, to be honest. I'm a fan of basketball itself. I like Jordan. But it was never my idol that I follow. I mean, the guy worked hard. Obviously, he's a legend. But I just like the song. That's it.
It's got a very long kind of tension building introduction, hasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
That's why I like it. But it depends. Music. I think music really defines your mood. Like sometimes you're really excited, but sometimes you calm, so it might change. I'm still not too sure. Just at that point, you asked me, and that's how I felt basically. I just ended.
Yeah.
But it's not the song that I listen every single day that keeps me pumped.
Sure. Okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think you can go that way though. You can build a bit of tension and let the crowd kind of wait for you a little bit. I think that works.
Totally.
Yeah, to build an atmosphere.
I love pressure.
Well, it certainly, delivers the idea of pressure, doesn't it? That track.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we're running a little bit out of time, Tadas, but I wondered if you had any messages for Sergey or anyone else who might be listening to the podcast.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm still a new member in this community, so I would like to, take part. For Sergey, of course, speed recovery. I've been watching his fights actually. He's all right. He's has great movement, a little bit slow, but overall he looks like he has a perspective in the sport for sure. So I hope he recovers quickly. And I'm just waiting. I don't know, Gavin. Like keep me posted if there is anyone, with my weight, with my experience, so we can set up a show.
Yeah,
that is my message.
I mean, I think that is you because you've got quality in both disciplines. It's particularly the boxing. Obviously, we need to be careful that we're matching you with somebody who can, who's going to be safe in the ring with you, which is probably the most difficult part.
Come on, I'm not Tyson or anything, right? I'm just an amateur.
No, but
I have some skills. I have some skills, but
I
have some skills, but I'm just an amateur.
Yeah.
There's a huge gap between amateur and professional, so
yeah.
But thanks, appreciate it.
And something we ask everybody not everybody, but quite often we'll ask people on the podcast. I don't know. I'm a bit concerned that you're dedicated to fitness. You may not have an answer for this question, but what's your favorite chocolate bar?
My favorite chocolate bar?
Mm.
Oh, that's a strange question. I have them. I love them all. I mean, I have them time to time, but if I'm thinking, this is already wrong, right? I should have an answer instantly, but Twix probably. Twix.
Classic, yeah. I like a Twix, yeah.
Yeah, Snickers is boring. Mars is too sweet, so yeah, Twix.
Yeah, I'm not a mad fan of peanuts, so yeah, I'd probably go for Twix as well. I think.
Is that a most common answer?
No, I get loads of different answers, to be honest, and sometimes people will give a different answer. Like that, I'll interview them before and after the fight, and they'll give a different answer both times.
I don't know if you guys have. You must have that. There is a bar, Milky Way.
Yeah, we have that. I do like Milky Way actually.
A tiny one, so it has less calories, so you can grab two.
Yeah. Oh, like a miniature one. Yeah.
Exactly. So this one as well.
Yeah.
Twix and Milky Way.
Okay, well, thanks very much for coming on the podcast, Tadas. I'm still hopeful we'll get you fighting in July. We should shout out to Sergey and wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
That's so. Just if you're listening, we've got a show coming up on the 5th and 6th of July. It's the first ever chessboxing festival. It's going to be in a rural location. We've got an on-site brewery. We're going to have live music. We're going to have chess tournaments. We've got a chessboxing film. It's basically going to be a whole weekend of chessboxing fun. And of course, we've got a full gamut of chessboxing bouts on a Saturday night with the usual trimmings. We've got the Berserker. I think the Berserker's doing a ukulele sing-along, so that's something to look forward to. So get your tickets at chessboxingnation.com. And the whole thing is going to be streamed on youtube.com/chessboxing. So make sure you don't miss out. Head over and get your tickets now. That's it from me. Thank you very much, Tadas. Cheers.
My pleasure. Take it easy, Gavin.